Hey everyone, welcome to FlowThatCash podcast. Today we have our guest David Feldman. Dave, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, hi. So my name is Dave Feldman. I'm originally from New York and was born and raised there, and then joined the Navy out of high school. So I ended up being in the Navy for about 10 years until the Navy and I kind of parted ways. And when I got out, that was the scariest time of my life because I didn't know what I was going to do. So I sat around for several months, not knowing until newspaper, if anybody remembers newspapers back then, saw an ad for a real estate seminar, and I ended up. That's kind of how I got started. In fact, I usually introduce myself, but as a product of the late night commercials on every night, and people would be promoting their real estate seminar. So I went to several of them, and that's kind of how I got started.
We're cool, we're cool. And how did you get into real estate?
Well, again, I went to several seminars, and one of the first ones that I went to actually it was intriguing enough that I bought the guy's package, which at the time was a whopping $400 or $500 instead of thousands of dollars that they charge now. But that's like 40, almost 50 years ago now when I did it. And unlike a lot of people, though, I went home and actually unwrapped the package instead of using it as a paperweight and read the guy's books and tapes and watched the videos and whatever was there. And then didn't happen overnight, but within 3 or 4 years, following the advice from the package that I bought, I ended up owning about 40 properties out in California with no job, no income, and no credit, and no family, by the way. There's no wife to support me or anything like that. There's no income coming in other than working through real estate.
We're cool, we're cool. Well, in this series of Flow That Cash podcast, we are going to well, it's called Teach Me How to Flow That Cash, and Dave have something in store for you guys. So, well, the stage is yours. So, teach the FCC family something in 5 minutes or less, Dave.
I can't wait to tell everyone about this because yeah, why real estate instead of anything else in the world? But just because I took the interest in real estate when I was sitting around not knowing what I was going to do, I found out and was shown that real estate is the ideal investment. Ideal investment.
Idea.
I'd like to go through it briefly because we don't have to do. I just lose. Here we are. So I don't want to share any more about it. I love to teach and love to talk. So you can contact me through the Flow.Cash website or through a Hewitt, however you contact them. But anyway, I.D.E.A.L. So the deal stands for income. And that means when you buy real estate, if you do it correctly, of course, you're going to have what they call positive cash flow, which means you're going to have money left over at the end of the month. When you paid all the expenses on the property, that extra money is your income. Depreciation, D is depreciation. This is one of the more fun ones because the government actually allows you to say that your property is depreciating in value, and consequently, you're allowed to use that on your income taxes to lower your tax responsibility. It's just a phenomenal thing that no other investment does for you. E is for equity. Equity is the amount of the value in the property between what may be owed on the property and what the actual value is at that time. The value. Equity, yeah, gets bigger as you make each payment on the loan or whatever outstanding balance is on the property, builds your equity.
Yeah.
A is even more interesting. A stands for appreciation, and that's where you actually reverse what the government says, where the government says your depreciating, your value is depreciating in value. It's actually
Yeah.
appreciating in value and going up every year, which makes it even more value. And then finally, the L is for leverage, which again refers to real estate, but you can do this. That allows you to use a very small amount of money to control a very, sometimes money at all if you learn how to buy real estate with no money down. But for instance, keep it simple. If you buy $100,000 property, usually you only have to put so $10,000. You're controlling $100,000 of an asset. And to my knowledge, unless anybody out there can tell me otherwise, there's no other investment vehicle in the world that can fulfill all of those aspects in the word ideal. So that's what makes real estate the ideal investment, and no other in the world can match it. I love it.
That's pretty cool. I learned something new here. So let's recap. Let's recap. So I is income, D is depreciation, E is equity, A is appreciation, and L is leverage. Very cool. Is this something that you come up with your own, or you have it from someone else, or you borrow it from someone else?
Oh, I wish I could take credit for it, but I'm pretty good at copying what other people have already developed. So I don't like reinventing the wheel. I mean, and in fact, a lot of people kid me because I am a little bit old school. I'm a little bit mature, let's say, and so a lot of my knowledge goes back several years. But I always say, you know what, real estate is like the second oldest profession in the world. It has not changed ever. It's really about bartering, like people used to do, what I usually say. It's just like people have always done throughout history. Somebody has something that you want, and you go to them and make an offer. And there's really only three things they can say back to you. They can say, "Yes, I like your offer. I accept it, and let's do it." Or they can say, "No, I hate your offer. It's not fair, and get out of my face." Or they say, "Well," and that's where the real fun, where we say you get to, or what they call meeting of the minds, where two people have to talk enough so that they're both happy with the outcome, and then you can still make the deal go through. But that has not changed throughout eons of history. Some of the semantics have changed and the terminology, loan terms, all this kind of stuff has changed. But once you learn the basics of the basic core rating, then you can buy real estate anywhere, price for any reason, as long as it makes sense to everybody. So
Mm.
yeah.
So, for those who's just starting it out, and maybe share with me back in the day when you were starting out, which one of these five
Okay,
you think is more important to you?
I think me is the most important, because you want to make sure it's positive cash flow income. Where people get in trouble with real estate is they end up making mistakes in the purchase of the property, or something just doesn't work out, and they end up with what they call negative cash flow. And then that
Hmm.
becomes what they call an alligator property. And you know what alligators do? They just hunt around for food all the time to eat something. And that's what the property does to some of the people. It ends up becoming an alligator and taking more money out of their pocket than putting in. Once that happens, all those other ones, depreciation, equity, appreciation, and leverage, becomes insignificant, or it doesn't matter. The income is probably the most important. But the beauty of real estate is that you get the advantage of all five of those terms or events, and it just makes it great. So, getting back to how to get started, a lot of people ask me this, and one of my favorite ways to tell them is to just go to whatever real estate seminars you can come up with on the internet. Easiest thing to do is just Google real estate investment clubs, and I probably read every book under the sun on real estate. If you see behind me, you can see much of my office here, but it's mostly filled bookshelves with books on it, and I love to read. But you don't even have to do that anymore because a lot of this is accessible on the internet. But getting back to what I was saying, if you get on the internet and just Google real estate investment clubs in your area, and then just start going to them, attending them, Most of them are free. Some of them charge a small fee to get in, but that's probably the easiest way to expose yourself to the beginnings and the benefits of real estate. The thing that I warn you about is don't get sucked into these seminars that say, "Oh, here's your 2 hour free seminar. And now, if you really want of it, you have to pay, thousands of dollars to come to the seminar or some other event that they are promoting." From what I found in my experience, anything that's available out there that you pay for, you can get absolutely. I always say the library, but nowadays it's on the internet. There's plenty of websites, one of which is, podcasts like we're doing right now. And oh boy, realtor.com, Zillow that people like to go to. Bigger Pockets is a major one. They have thousands of YouTube videos on there on how to do real estate. But if you like me and like hard copy stuff in front of you to actually hold and touch and feel and smell, I like to have the actual books. And you can get
Yeah,
books at the library, of course. But, sir,
yeah.
my,
Which
I was
book
just
do
going
you
to tell
think
everybody my favorite,
you would
yeah,
recommend?
my favorite book of all time. Absolutely. And hopefully the people out there will appreciate it because the title alone is what'll suck you in. It's called Nothing Down. Nothing Down. Okay, you get the idea? Nothing Down by Robert G. Allen. It's one of the first books that helped me get started. It doesn't happen every day. I'm tell people that I just recently bought a property with absolutely no money out of my pocket. It just fell into my hands, and there's about 2 million plus equity in this property right off the bat without putting no money into the property. That does not happen every day, but it can happen. You only need a very small amount of money, because that's one of the things I would tell people too is, oh, I don't have any money to invest in real estate. You do not need money. The only thing you really need is a
Yeah,
little bit of education and knowledge, and then to take action. And if you learn to do that without getting in trouble, which is one of the ways, is by coming to our seminars or these podcasts, learn how other people let the other people make the mistake. That's kind of what we're here for. Is
yeah,
jokingly saying 20 mistakes a day just to stay in practice. But been
yeah.
doing this for
Exactly.
over
And
40
also,
years. I forgot to mention I've been doing this for 40 years. And go ahead, you.
yeah, and also be in the right room as well,
Are you
where
going to say
you get to
something?
meet,
Okay.
yeah, where you get to meet a lot of other like-minded individuals as well. And this is what Flow That Cash is all about. So if you are interested in, being part of the group, you can just join us on Facebook group. It's free. You get to meet and leverage, which is the last L. Leverage the community, leverage the knowledge, the yeah the association, because I think it's very important. Yes, you can do it alone, but you go faster and longer as well when we do it together. Um, is there any last thoughts, Dave?
Um, no, I love to teach podcasts if I'm invited back, where I give my all-time favorite lesson, the way to make money in the world, which you already said is real estate. But a version of that, the difference between linear income versus residual income. Linear income versus residual income. Linear income can get paid in hours, which is 99.9% of the entire world does not have a job working an hour to get paid an hour. Residual income, which is the only way, do a little bit of work, you get the thing set up, but then once it's started, you get money. You start receiving royalties like this over and over and over again, pretty much forever. And I'd love to go into way more detail on that, but um, residual income,
That's
that's what real
okay.
estate hopefully does for you if you set up rental property. Yeah. So
Awesome, awesome, Dave. Thank
that's
you
all
so
I got.
much
I'm,
for
I,
being on here, and I hope to have you on again. And because I know that you have a lot to share. 40 years plus, guys. That's more than I'm alive. But yeah, if you want to connect with Dave, just reach out to me or just follow us on our social, FlowThatCash.com, or go to our Facebook groups, FlowThatCash. You will see Dave here and there. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Dave.
Just I'm in South Florida, by the way, for anybody else. That's where I live
South
and do.
Florida.
Yeah,
Awesome.
but
Awesome. Okay.
I
Thank
do
you so
have
much.
investments. It's another thing people think you got to invest in your own area. Once you get
Mhm.
semi good at it, you can invest almost anywhere. Uh, you would I don't know if you want to divulge your at, but he's from there, and again with nowadays with the computer, you can do everything. I know people that live in Canada and bought property down here in the United States and never left their house, never paid any
Mhm.
money. Everything was done virtually over the internet. So
Yeah.
that's really cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Sure. Okay. Thank you so much. I hope you guys
And
enjoyed.
I thank you for letting me be with you folks. That's for sure.
Yeah, awesome, awesome. Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode. Thank you, and let me know if you have any questions or you want to learn more things in the comment. Okay, bye.